Greetings, comic friends, here with the TGIW. Thank God it is Wednesday, celebrating the best day of the week, Wednesday, New Comic Book Day. This is a Father's Day edition, apparently, so happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. What better way to celebrate Father's Day than with talking about comics that came out 4 or 5 days ago, I guess. But if you are a father, happy Father's Day. To all the dads out there. All right, this week, let's take a look. This week was really good. I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books, and unlike last week, none of them were really stinkers. So we'll start off the top. Moon Knight number 24. Someone is targeting Moon Knight by sending other villains against him. So this is just one of those stories of one villain that has, how do I say, been sent after Moon Knight. Though without giving anything away, not everything is as it appears. I guess that kind of is a double entendre with this. But anyway, it was a great story at a great end when everything was kind of explained. It was, I really enjoyed it. So Moon Knight continues to be fantastic. Next up, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 140. So with Armageddon Game, been talking about how the Armageddon Game story is kind of behind. I think there's one more issue left of Armageddon Game proper. This takes place after Armageddon Game. So, warning, if you don't want something spoiled, don't read this issue until after you've read Armageddon Game. I read it because I don't know, because I want to read everything that I have. I wanted to potentially be able to talk about it on this video, of course. So I went ahead and read it, and there are obviously some big shakeups that happen at the end of Armageddon Game that here are just like, all right, this is the way that it is now. And I'm in, right? The Armageddon Game, I've said it multiple times, just kind of went on way too long. I don't know where it's going, all this. With this, we kind of see the new state of the world post it. It's interesting. It's going to be fun. I don't know if we needed like a year of whatever Armageddon Game is to get there. But I am excited what this new status quo for the Turtles is going to mean going forward. Amazing Spider-Man number 27. I think it's been a while since I really, really enjoyed, or even just kind of enjoyed, an ASM book. This one was good. We're done with that previous story arc with all kinds of problems. This book was fun. It had some really cool moments in it. As the cover suggests, we're dealing with Doc Ock. And Doc Ock is always a fun villain to pop up now because of his time as being Superior Spider-Man, but he doesn't remember. But that doesn't mean other people don't know about it. Or other things don't know about it. So he's that, even though it didn't stick of him being Spider-Man forever, which obviously it wouldn't, and he doesn't remember, it still has an impact on his character, which I think makes him a lot more interesting. Not that it wasn't interesting before, but even more so. Venom Lethal Protector number 4. So this started off with a team up with, Venom and Silver Sable and her Wild Pack and all that. It's kind of transformed to something else with Doctor Doom, where Doctor Doom wants to enlist Venom to help him get to his mother, who is stuck in hell. So they strike a deal. And as we know, all deals with Doom favor Doom. So I'll leave it at that. but it's good. I'm very, very excited to see how this wraps up. Because at the end there's a, well, crap sort of moment. Star Trek #9. This continues the trial of Captain Sisko. It goes as expected, right? The Kardashians are wanting someone to blame for their losses. And it's very clear that Ben Sisko is not to blame. Is he responsible for the death of many Cardassians? Yes, absolutely. They were at war. But the reason that the Cardassians were at war was because of the Jem'Hadar. They were forced into that war. But they're gone, so they can't take their rage out on them. Captain Sisko is sort of the scapegoat for all of that. And it's very clear that the court is rigged. It's not a real trial, all that. So it's continuing that, and we see the end of the quote-unquote trial. At the same time, there's on the side, they're also trying to collect the orbs of the emissaries, not the emissaries. Sisko is the emissary. The Bajoran god. I don't know why I can't think of them, but that's also kind of going on, and it's mixed up with the return of Kales, and there's a lot going on in that book. But it doesn't get too much. It's very good. Spider-Man India #1. So I did pick up this limited series. I am trying to limit limited series, but some of them I do have a high interest in. And I've always liked Spider-Man India. I think as far as alternate Spider-Men, or Spider-Persons, I guess I should say, costume design, this is like my favorite. I think it looks very cool on its own. It's clever as it ties in elements of Indian culture. I don't know. I love this costume for some reason, and I do like the character also. But this was a good read. It starts off with him hanging out with 616. Peter and Miles is also there doing some multiverse adventure. I think they're in the 616 when they do it, but then he goes back to his own and faces a threat there. It becomes pretty apparent where it's kind of gonna go with it, but that doesn't mean that it's not good. Just the end wasn't like a huge reveal, like, oh yep, that's where you were going. There it is. Batman Incorporated #9. So we are kind of seeing what the Joker's end plan is with his Joker Incorporated. He's wanting to make the members of Batman Incorporated go against their vow of not killing by putting them in situations of you have to kill this person, or else a bunch of others are going to die. So that's sort of the whole plan. Is it going to work? Is it not going to work? We have yet to know. And lastly, I love this book so much. Planet of the Apes #3. Great background story. Again, it's kind of taking from the more recent movies, Planet of the Apes, which I think was a better origin of Planet of the Apes. So this makes for a really, really interesting book. It's just kind of continuing the same story where what has been dubbed the simian flu, which was originally, it is man-made, was meant to be a possible cure for Alzheimer's. When tested on apes, it showed that it increased their intelligence. However, it also ended up being lethal to humans. So since apes were the original carriers, even though they didn't create it or put it upon themselves, it's dubbed the simian flu, and distributed mass information puts the blame on primates. So there's a group that's going out to kill all primates because they've been misled or are just angry and scared. And those that are trying to protect them, because the secret to the cure to it is obviously in these apes. So the radicals are actually working against their best interest of wanting to kill these apes when they're actually the solution to the problem. So it's just kind of continuing that, further stories in that. There's a backup story in here which is really good. It's about a circus gorilla who, before all this, was smart, was trying to do human-like things, could speak sign language and all that. And once the simian flu hits, he gets it. He was already smart for an ape, so it looks like he's being set up to kind of be an original leader of ape kind in this post-simian flu world. But it's a very good backup story. I love that book so much. I love it so much. It's so good. I mean, I understand not everyone is into the non-Marvel DC superhero type stuff or even cares about Planet of the Apes. But if you have any interest in Planet of the Apes at all, it's an absolute banger. All these Fox Studios ones, the 20th Century Studios, the Predator, Alien, and this, I've just thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's a nice little departure from everything else, superhero stuff and whatnot. It's still in a universe I'm comfortable in and enjoy, but it's not your standard superhero fare. So it's a nice bit of diversity in there. And I think that's it. Yeah. So a really solid week. Previously Amazing Spider-Man hasn't been super great, but even this was a really good read. So everything was absolutely fantastic. I enjoyed everything, which doesn't always happen. You hope for the best, but they can't all be winners. This week was all winners, and that's what you want to see. So that's really it. The only other thing I am ashamed to say, I have created a TikTok account and started on that. I haven't posted a lot. I'm still trying to think about things that I want to do for it, but it's what all the cool kids do these days. So I decided to go ahead and do that. I have some ideas for things. Then it's just about doing them, I suppose. But if you don't want to feel dirty like I do, I'm going to do my best to cross-post things on TikTok onto my Instagram for those of you that are following me on Instagram. And if you're not, follow me on Instagram and or TikTok. And of course on YouTube. And comment and like and all of that. And most importantly, don't forget to make yours Titan. This video was brought to you by Titan Comic Pressing. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Titan Comic Pressing LLC.